Forward, wait. Forward, neutral, down, down, forward, forward. Neutral, down, down, forward. Okay. So, like with any character, we're going to start talking about her punishes because, like, you get the easy stuff out of the way. Punishes and combos first. So, 10 frames. She has 1-2-2, which has frame advantage and leaves them standing. And she also has 1-1-2, which is probably what you'll end up doing more because of the knockdown and the fact that you can like confirm it really easily. Doesn't wall split, unfortunately. Then at 12 frames, you have 1+2, which has had its damage toned down in season 2, but it's still dope. It has like really deceptive range, so it can be your go-to punish against like this, which is dope to have. Easy. 13 frames, which has, interestingly enough, it has like the same range, if not a little bit less, as 1+2. Down forward 1-2. Wall splats, if they're back into the wall. 13 frame punish. It's also wall splats, but sometimes it gets weird. So that's dope. Something you won't use nearly as often is up forward 2. 14 frame punish. Has a little bit more range than both of those, but doesn't really ever find a good use for like any kind of guard punish. Then at 15, you have this hop kick, which has no range, like really little range on it. So you can get the full combo for most things, but sometimes you'll be too far away to get your 15 frame punish with the hop kick, so you can go for that. 3-2 into the tiger. It's much safer in season 2. So it's you can just go for that for free damage whenever you want. 31 plus 21, 52 damage. Easy. So those are your standing punishes with Kazumi, and then you go into crouch. You've got 11 frames while standing 4-4. This move is godlike, and it wall splats. It does a little spin, so even off like any kind of low, you get a big reward. Because that's 29 damage if there's no wall there. You get frame advantage. You can go for whatever you want after, And then you've got at 13, you've got wall standing 2-1 or wall standing 1-2. I mean, which is more damage, better knockdown, and still wall splats. You'll see a lot of people do this when they are playing her, and they don't even get a block punish. They just get a whiff, and they just go for this because it's so quick and so easy to confirm. Wall standing 1-2 is 12 frames. Okay. Wall standing 1-2, actually 12 frames. Sorry about that. Let me double check to make sure we're giving out the right data. While standing 1-2, they made it harder to hit confirm in season 2. Before, you used to be able to delay it a lot and still get the second hit, but in season 2, you have to kind of commit to it a little bit more. But still good. And then at 15, when you're in crouch, her wall standing 2 is actually slower than 15 frames, so you can't get a 15 frame launch with that. You have to go for a 15 frame punish with your hop kick. Again, up forward 4. It has weak range, so there are instances where something is minus 15 and you can't get the hop kick punish, which sucks, but that's what it is. And then her wall standing 2, 18 frames. You get a full combo off of that. Does a lot of damage. Easy stuff. So after that, just got launchers. Like we just talked about, hop kick, up forward 4, which is 15 frames. Can go into her 4-3-2. Back forward to 1-4. That's your telespin string. That's your go-to telespin string for a lot of combos. And then if you're full mid-screen, if you're mid-screen and you can't get a wall, then you can end it with a back forward 2-1, 1+2. Restart position, wall, switch positions on. So yeah, you get this, get the full tiger. If it wall splats, you can go for a running 2. But that's going to be your mid-screen combo from that launcher. And then also works from Wall Standing 2, same combo. Running 2. What are good long-range punishes? Like we just said, the 1+2 has like actually a lot more range than people think. You have 3-2, and then at for very specific things, you have down forward 2. There's not many things that you can use down forward 2 for that you can't just like dash hop kick, but you can use it if you want. Like after a whoring back 3 or something. It's really slow. So we talked about the up 4-4 combo, while sending 2 combo. Oh, my favorite. I love this one. Off of her forward 4, which is a safe dashing mid overhead launcher. It launches crouch, and again is safe. You can go into fly 2. You go to fly with forward 3+4. You get the 2, and then you can go into the forward 3-2 like before, and finish the combo like normal. The extra damage in before you end it however you want. Magic 4 combo in Season 2. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. I just want to get all the normal hit launches out of the way. Well, I can't do the combo again, that's crazy. Something new to her in Season 2. For those of you who haven't been watching the stream when I was playing her earlier. I love this so much. Forward 3 into fly 2 is not a natural combo. It does count as an air hit, so you can't get like that because they flow too low, and you can't get too many hits in this, right? I would like to do something like this, but it doesn't work. Instead, you kind of just have to go into the down forward 1. Right? If you do the forward 3 right there, that doesn't end correctly. So if you go straight to down forward 1, you can end the combo like normal with the tiger. Easy. Now, counter hit launcher, Magic 4. When we say Magic 4 in Tekken, for those of you who don't know, Magic 4 refers to a counter hit launching 4 that has this weird launch where they kind of just float, which is why they call it Magic 4. Where's counter hit? 4. Look at that. They do that. You can back 2. Real easy. Oops. And go into a little house sweep combo. Rotation for that is going to be 4, back 2, forward 3, and then when you go into forward 3, you hold forward to go into fly. And instead of doing the 4-3-2 that we did before, you're gonna do 4-3-4 for the single hell sweep. And then pick up with down forward 1 and finish with the normal ender. Easy. Okay. Talked about punishes, talked about combos. We got the boring stuff out of the way. That's the boring part about learning a character. The cool part about learning any character, of course, is looking at their moves, their good moves, and figuring out how they work together. So this character is the most simple and generic Tekken character you can think of. Because her best moves are her jab, her down forward 1, her normal low poke, down back 3, down back 4, down 3, down 4, down forward 4, and then her homing move back 2, and she has some flash stuff. Oh, and of course one of the best moves is running 2. So of course she has all these other moves that are there, but you know, not too important to her gameplay. Her base gameplay is going to revolve around these specific pokes. So the way this character works, her move is a bit ridiculous. So when you're playing, it's really easy to make space against your opponent, and it's really easy to like get around their own offense and get back to neutral. And then when you get space on your opponent, you have from like this range, right? You have these options like running 2, one of the best ones. Then you got your basic movement, and you can dash into any of your other pokes. So like running, like dash up and jab, dash up down forward 1, dash up down back 4. And I kind of want to talk about how these attacks like work together. But first, let's talk about the attacks themselves. So her jab is ridiculous because the hitbox on it is crazy. The fact that she can like consistently just put out a jab and like have it cover her, like just look how far Kazumi is in front of me, and like he gets hit, and it's kind of hard to step, kind of hard to high crush, and all those things. The fact that she can do that is kind of crazy because jab is the fastest move in the game. But then on top of all that, she has the 1-1-2 hit confirm. So the jab leaves you +1 on block when they do block it, right? They can't attack in between another jab. So she has this ability to jab and then 1-1 uninterruptible, and then if it hits, she can finish it into 1-1-2. Let's see, we're gonna put it on a random guard so we can like demonstrate the hit confirm. 1-1, 1-1. Hold on, wait, I'm dumb. Yeah, see? So you can just wait till you see a hit and confirm it. So you're walking around, your opponent's moving around with you. You can force that jab situation, and it's really scary to attack back versus her jabs because you can lose your entire health bar to a 1-1-2. Outside of that, we have the down forward 1, which is, essentially going to be your mid jab. When you're expecting your opponent to like kind of duck these jabs, try to get around the jabs, you have down forward 1, which tracks to her right, her opponent's sidestep left. It does lose his sidestep right, but it's so fast and it has such a big hitbox and it moves her forward. It makes it really easy to like kind of stay on your opponent and just poke at them with like jab, down forward 1, and some movement. You can do things like that, and it becomes really obnoxious to deal with. Thinking down back 4 is the next move to talk about, just because this move is so godlike. Even though it's been nerfed in Season 2, the hitbox is smaller. What makes this move so sick, right? We talked about how the jab puts you in a good situation on block after your opponent blocks it. Down back 4 itself is, was it +3 on hit? Let me double check. Down back 4, +4 on hit, +4 on hit, which is why the down forward ones are uninterruptible. So it puts you in a situation where you're +4. If your opponent attacks back, down forward 1 counter hits whatever they do, right? There's no way to interrupt this. So down forward 1 can go into that down forward 1-2 for a free wall splat. If you do predict that they will get hit by it. But like that is uninterruptible. They have to sidestep right. So the metagame off of this down back 4, the situation becomes sidestep right. They can step you to the right, right? Look at that. Her jab is super sick for that. When she's +4 after down back 4, you cannot sidestep her jab. Yeah, that's what I like to see. So after your down back 4, you put them in this bad situation where they can't interrupt your down forward 1, not even with a low jab, right? The only option they have against your down forward 1 is to sidestep it right, and if they sidestep it right, they can't block your jab. It's free. It's a punish. And you also have your homing move back too, but if you want to catch a sidestep, you have the options of using your jab, your back 2, and you have the option of beating any interrupt with down forward 1-2. As beautiful. Okay. Moving on. You got these other pokes that don't give you such, they don't give you as good of a situation. As you can see, you can set the jab after down back 3. But what's cool about down back 3 is that it forces crouch. So when you are on P2 side, something we used to see Take do a lot was that when he would pick the P2 side, he would use down back 3 a lot. And the reason for this is that when you force crouch, your opponent cannot step into the foreground. They cannot press down to sidestep. They have to press up. And when your opponent's on P1 side, pressing up means they sidestep left. And down forward 1 tracks that way. So the down back 3 becomes a much more obnoxious attack when you can't step after it, and you have to deal with the down forward 1. So the whole +4 uninterruptible jab thing is only for Kazumi, or could it be universal? That is for Kazumi. And it's a very specific situation. You want to test situations more than try to memorize frame data for things like that. Okay. So, well, we didn't talk about down back force tracking, dude. This move will track. It'll track sidewalk left and sidestep left. They nerfed the hitbox on it, so I don't think it tracks the sidestep right as easily. Hold on, let's put it on guard. Yeah, see, I don't think it tracks sidestep right as easily, but it does track the other directions. And sidewalk right completely evades it. Why would you ever use down back 3 over down back 4? We're gonna talk more about the general gameplay strategy in a second after we go through these moves and their situations. Not set. Stand. Okay. This move, honestly, I don't even want to talk about this move until we start talking about her general gameplay. But she does have down 4 and down 3. They're generic, they track both ways, and they high crush. Another high crush she has is down back 2, which can go into this little string here, which most people won't finish. But the threat of that string does leave you in a situation where your opponent doesn't want to attack because they want to block the low that comes after. So you can kind of down back 2 and get the freedom to move around if your opponent is waiting on the low. Okay, I feel like we talked about those moves enough. Back 2. Homing move, big frame advantage. It's pretty dope. Your opponent can't really interrupt anything after this. And it does have the little spin, so it does wall splat into the wall combo. Let's think. Okay. So, normal game with Kazumi. We talked about how godlike her movement is, right? And we talked about how godlike running 2 is, right? Let me tell you some more properties about running 2. This move is really hard to sidestep from neutral. And then on top of that, it's only real if you sidestep or sidewalk right, it's really hard to evade. you kind of have to sidewalk left against the running 2. And it has a lot of range, right? So what this does is it sets you up for a situation in which your opponent, if let's say they're backdashing and they think you're going to dash in, so they do a jab, right? It sets you up for a situation where it's really easy to hit them, right? It's really hard to like keep this move out because she does a little crouch thing and it comes from so far away that most of the keyboard attacks will just get beat out. So when you're spacing out with Kazumi, you have this option that will, of course, be safe on block, right? It puts you back toward the spacing you're at, right? When they block it, you're back over here, right? So you're back at a good spot. And if they try to attack back against it, they normally end up just eating it into some Oki, into like a wake up situation where like people would kind of spam it again. Even it's really safe to do. And that's going to be the nature of Kazumi's control. She has so much option coverage off of this one move from neutral that your opponent, instead of like, you know, moving around and trying to just attack, they're going to try to sidewalk it to the left. So a lot of the times you'll see situations against Kazumi where like the Kazumi player is turtling or something, and the other person doesn't want to deal with the running 2, so they're like sidewalking like that. They're dashing in and sidewalking just to try to evade the move. You know? Like that, see? Now, of course, you know, people first thought against a sidewalking opponent is to back 2 because it's your homing move and it does give you a good situational hit. But in a decent level of Tekken, you're mostly going to be dealing with sidewalk into block, right? If someone sees you dash up to do something, they're going to like sidewalk, and as soon as they see you like dash into their stuff, they're going to hold back and try to like, you know, not get hit by the homing move. So this creates like a situation where you don't want to do your back 2, but you do have them sidewalking from where you get the space out. And that is where I introduce her godlike movement again. Instead of just running up and doing a homing move, you know, you have created the situation where your opponent is moving and they don't want to attack you. If they're not putting out an attack on the screen, you know what that means you can do? You can forward dash. You know, free. And when you forward dash into attacks, then they track. They realign. So like, you space them out, they start sidewalking because they're expecting the running 2, and then you just dash in, you hit them, and you have free offense. And that's when you start poking at them. She sets up herself to get into range of her good pokes, the stuff we just talked about, the jab, the down forward 1, the down back 3, down back 4, and all the other stuff, by just having that running 2, the threat of the running 2, and you know that opens up to your whole options, right? Because now you're dashing and your opponent's like trying to sidewalk your running 2. You get a low read. If you have a low read, you can just poke at them if you want. You can do basically whatever you want to your opponent at that point. You know, they let you in for free. You have officially closed the gap with Kazumi, which is a character who pokes really well and has, you know, a safe launcher. She has this behemoth of a move, and she has all that other stuff. So then you can decide how you want to break your opponent down from there. It's hard, you know, if I explained how to use a poking character to kill people, we would be sitting here all night because that's just fundamental Tekken. But that is going to be like the basis of the metagame with Kazumi. She is a character who has great movement, can make great space, can condition her opponent to not contest her space with his move like really easily, and you know her other, you know, just her normal movement options into whiff punishing, and then she can get in your face and kind of like poke at you for like to punish you for respecting her running 2, respecting her control, and it's pretty sick. I really like that playstyle. It feels really powerful. It felt a lot more powerful in season 2 or season 1, of course. They have given her some nerfs as to the reward she gets. Like her down back 4 used to hit grounded. It doesn't hit grounded anymore. But overall, the character playstyle is still pretty strong, I think. As we saw, like Ulsan got pretty far in that tournament. in Japan. It's pretty sick. We got All Night though. A basic Tekken metagame guide. Oh man, that would be so involved. I should start like a tutorial series or something. Can I go over Oki options at some point? I'm not gonna lie to you. This character's Oki isn't so like creative. It's not that. It's not that deep, right? You can fly, but like with the overall strategy of the character, you are going to be doing a lot of low reward poking, right? You're gonna be doing a lot of this, like that, just shipping their health bar down, getting back to neutral, keeping them blocking with this. And it's gonna be a lot of interactions where you don't want to risk too much. And off of the fly, you put yourself in a situation where you have to kind of, guess, right? This how stupid launch punch. You give your opponent opportunities, right? If I'm sticking to this, my opponent has to work really hard to even like get a small hit on me. But then the moment I do this, all it takes is one low block, and they have earned back the entire reward they've gotten, or the entire like health deficit I got by poking them down. They they block that, they get a launch on me. It's kind of free. What's the move that had a natural fly hit? Forward 3. Okay. Let's play some Kazumi if we can find someone. Because I like this character.